in that to athletics. And speaking of teams, this coming weekend is a huge one. The National Indoor League finals in athletics take place on Saturday at the brand new state-of-the-art indoor arena in Abbotstown, which I haven't seen for myself, but from what the TV pictures were showing, it's absolutely and utterly spectacular. We have got 3 Galway teams involved, 2 from Galway City Harriers and 1 from Crowell. Brendan Glynn joins me in the here in studio. Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Let's talk first of all about the league itself. 2 rounds, been and gone, and the final itself. How tough has it been this year as compared to previous?
It's tough. I mean, I'm from Galway City Harriers now, and we have a men's team and a women's team. 2 very different qualifying strategies. The men's team, we kept breezed through to the final. We're qualified in 2nd place. The ladies team now, we had a much harder time. We were missing a lot of our athletes, but we managed to get in. We scraped in, but points are reset now, and we have our full team for the final. So really looking forward to Saturday.
Who should we keep an eye out for? Before I actually ask that question, how many events do you have to take part in to score?
Indoors a bit less events than the outdoors. So there's in the qualifying rounds there's 11 events in total. In the final there's 12 because they add a relay for the final as well, a 4x200 metre relay. So
you have to score in all events basically, but you're up against how many other clubs?
8 teams qualify in the men's and 8 teams qualify in the ladies.
So really you need to do extremely well in all 8 events basically to have a chance of winning this title. How successful have we been in this though in the past?
Well, last year the GCH men's team was 2nd. That was fantastic. There has never been a GCH ladies team involved. This is the first year. Crockwell have been 2nd in the past in the ladies team, and I believe they lost out on gold by 1 point. Yeah, they didn't have a pole vaulter.
That was it.
They now have a pole vaulter. I saw a young girl go over there in the round, so they have a pole vaulter now.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, the thing about it is that shows how important and it is very, very important to all of these clubs to have good showings ahead of the outdoor season, but to be national indoor champions is significant enough in its own way.
Exactly, yes, and it'd be nice to take it home the West for a change, so we're aiming to do that hopefully one year.
What time do the events get underway? Because if there's 8 events, it's definitely an all-dayer.
It starts at 12 o'clock, and I'm not sure when the last event is, but I'm sure it'll probably be around 5 o'clock in the evening. So it does move very, very quickly. Let's look at the teams. We'll start with we'll just mention the teams briefly, because obviously Crowell have a very, very good team, have been 2nd as we've mentioned in the past, will fancy their chances. They're qualified, they're there on merit, they've got a really good shot. They do, yes. If Crockwell get their best team out, they'll be the favourites, I'd say, if they get their best team there. That's always the trick with these teams, is getting your best team there on the day.
And Galway City Harriers ladies are involved in the same competition, so Galway 1-2 would be nice. What other teams though in the ladies could be a danger?
Ladies is a funny one. There isn't really any team to watch out for. It's just such an open league in the ladies. I mean, it'll be really close. You'll always have your Dublin teams, the likes of Clonif and I believe the Dublin City Harriers as well. So they might be the ones to watch, but as I said, it's really open. Always has been.
Now let's look at the men's competition, because this is always very close.
Yeah, men's, it's the main one to watch out for is Clonif. They're just something else. They're really good. So they'll be the ones to chase and be the favourites. But we'll do our best.
I ask the question. I mean, it's been that long for the last couple of years. So, is there a difference? I mean, obviously distance-wise, but I mean, regarding the circuit, regarding the track, would there be any difference between, say, Athlone and Abbotstown?
Well, Athlone is an international standard arena, so it's fantastic, and I believe the new arena is the same. So there shouldn't really be any difference in surface. But I know we'll be the first major races in the new arena, so the athletes will be fired up to give it a go. In there, we'll be the first, as I said. So
yeah, and they have the AAI games on the following day, and there's quite a large number of West of Ireland athletes all taking part in that as well. I just had a quick glance at the entry list, but it does show. I mean, it is amazing that we've gone from Nina, which was
cold,
but in a short space of time, relatively, from Nina to Athlone, and now Athlone to Abbotstown, and we now have 2 world-class indoor arenas.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it can only mean good things for the sport. Hopefully we'll see Irish Vests in major competitions at a senior level.
Yeah, we'll look at it. Any names that we could keep an eye out for? Who do you feel might give a strong showing without putting pressure on them, of course? But who would you feel might give a strong showing?
Well, if we look at the men's, Jack Dempsey is going first in the sprints. He's a young guy from GCH.
He was the lad who was just edged out last weekend or the weekend before.
Yeah, just on Sunday there in the 60 metre All-Ireland finals by 0.003 of a second. He was second, so fantastic. And he dipped under 7 seconds for 60 metres, which is just phenomenal. So he's one to definitely keep an eye on the men's team. Outside of that, we have some really good athletes there. Robert Maher in the 400 is going from strength to strength, so he'll do well. We're missing Sean Brannock, unfortunately, in the shot put, but we do have another giant, Brennan Staunton, to come in. He'll be well placed in the shot put as well. So
Brannock, to be fair, would have been favourite going in.
It's hard to see Brannock ever being beaten, to be honest. He's just that phenomenal. But you know, there's a great throwing crew in Galway, so
and we've always done well as regards the track side, the running side, but more and more recently, the field events have seen a major increase in standards, not just here but right across the board. But you know, they're the kind of events that Galway would hope to do well in.
Yes, and normally we pick up very well in the field events as well. Unfortunately, we have a few injuries, but I mean, the depth in Galway has grown so much that we're able to cover injuries and still be competitive. Our high jump would have always been fantastic, but our top 2 high jumpers are out. But the spirit that's in the team, I've had loads of volunteers saying, hey, I'll take one for the team and I'll get you points, don't worry.
But it is actually incredible. This is the first major athletics event of the year, and once the indoor, this kind of also closes the door in the indoor season, preparations then for the outdoor begin, and the clock starts to count down towards a very busy. Well, before we go any further, I want to just go back, if I may, to last weekend, the under 23s, the juniors, incredible events.
Yes, and I was watching live commentary afterward. Well, it was not live, but I watched the commentary afterwards, and what they were saying is, wow, there's a real resurgence from Galway City Harriers because there were so many athletes up there. But that's us now showing that we're competitive at the highest stage.
And how important is it to the club that you actually have these young athletes coming through? I know I'm probably stating the obvious, but without those young athletes coming through, clubs can't advance. They just can't continue.
No, I mean, if we look at our teams this year and look at our teams that were so successful last year, a lot of the teams is made up of these younger athletes. So I mean, we're doing well now, but give it 3 or 4 years, we'll hold on to these athletes, and it's just going to be amazing. Yeah,
it's really, as Tom O'Malley made the point, it's an exciting time for Galway basketball, for Irish basketball. It's an exciting time for Irish athletics. These athletes making the breakthrough. Brendan, the very best of luck on Saturday and on Sunday to the athletes involved in the AI games as well in Abbotstown. It'll be an experience.
Yeah, and hopefully the ladies do well as well. There's some fantastic ladies on there now. As I said, we were scraped through, but we have a few All-Ireland champions coming in onto our team for the final, so we're hopeful there in the ladies as well. Laura Ann Costello and Nicole King.
Oh, and obviously the early start in the morning as well for the 2-hour journey up to Abbotstown. But Brendan, thanks very much indeed for doing it. We're going to, well, that's it actually, we're out of time. But before we go,